When two basketball titans clash in ways nobody anticipated, the shock waves can be felt throughout the entire sport. That's exactly what has the WNBA world on edge, as tensions between veteran superstar Brittney Griner and rookie sensation Caitlin Clark have escalated to levels that threaten to tear apart the fabric of women's professional basketball. These aren't just any two players. We're talking about a 6'N" dominant center who has redefined what's possible in the paint, facing off against the sharp shooting guard who has single-handedly transformed the commercial landscape of women's basketball. But what happens when basketball competition transcends the court and becomes something much more personal and potentially destructive? The clash between these two basketball philosophies, generations, and approaches to the game has created a powder keg that could explode at any moment. Brittney Griner stands as one of the most physically imposing and skilled players in WNBA history, bringing a combination of height, athleticism, and technical ability that has dominated the league since her arrival in 2013. At 6 feet 9 inches and tall with exceptional mobility and coordination for her size, Griner possesses physical advantages that make her virtually unstoppable in certain basketball situations. Her career statistics demonstrate sustained excellence that few players in any basketball league can match, averaging 17, 7 points, 6 rebounds and 8 blocks per game, while shooting in remarkable 8% from the field. Across her career, Griner has established herself as one of the most efficient and effective players in women's basketball history. The Phoenix Mercury center has been selected to 8 All-Star games and won the WNBA championship in 2014, earning Finals MVP honors for her dominant performance throughout the playoffs. These achievements represent the highest levels of individual and team success available in professional women's basketball. Griner's physical presence in the paint creates matchup problems that opposing teams struggle to solve. Her combination of size, strength, and skill allows her to score effectively near the basket while also providing defensive protection that fundamentally alters how opponents approach offensive strategies. Beyond her basketball abilities, Griner's international experience includes representing the United Pentic competition, winning gold medals in 2016 and 2021, while establishing herself as one of the world's premier basketball players regardless of gender or league affiliation. Her playing style represents traditional basketball excellence where physical dominance in the post and defensive rim protection have been cornerstone elements of championship teams throughout basketball history. This approach to the game emphasizes size, strength, and positional play that maximizes physical advantages. Caitlin Clark represents a completely different basketball archetype built around perimeter excellence, three-point shooting, and playmaking ability that has revolutionized how fans and analytics think about basketball entertainment and effectiveness. Her impact on the sport extends far beyond individual statistics to encompass cultural and commercial transformation. Clark's rookie season statistics of 19, 2 points, 8, 4 assists and 7 rebounds per game while shooting 4% from three-point range demonstrate elite-level performance across multiple basketball skills. Her ability to score from long distance while also creating opportunities for teammates makes her exceptionally difficult for opponents to defend. The Indiana Fever Guard's arrival in the WNBA coincided with unprecedented increases in television warrant, viewership, attendance figures, and media coverage that have elevated the entire league's profile and commercial viability. Games featuring Clark regularly draw over 1 million television viewers and consistently sell out arenas that previously struggled with attendance. Her playing style emphasizes skill, basketball intelligence, and shooting accuracy over physical food dominance, representing modern basketball evolution toward perimeter-oriented play and three-point shooting efficiency. This approach to the game has become increasingly prevalent across all levels of basketball. Clark's impact on women's basketball extends beyond professional play to influence how young players approach skill development and what types of players receive attention from college recruiters and professional scouts. Her success has validated playing styles that prioritize shooting and playmaking over traditional size and strength advantages. The cultural phenomenon surrounding Clark's career includes social media engagement that exceeds many male professional athletes and commercial endorsement opportunities that have established new standards for women's basketball player marketability and earning potential. The contrast between Griner's traditional post-dominated approach and Clark's modern perimeter excellence represents a fundamental philosophical divide about how basketball should be played and what types of skills should be prioritized in player development and team-building strategies. Gurrier's physical advantages in size and strength create natural matchup benefits in direct competition, as her 6 feet 9 inches in frame and exceptional wingspan provide defensive and rebounding capabilities that are difficult for smaller players to overcome regardless of their skill level in other areas. The center position that Griner dominates has historically been considered the most important position in basketball. With dominant big players serving as the foundation for championship teams throughout the sport's history, this positional importance creates natural advantages in team success and individual recognition. However, Clark's impact on team success and individual achievement through perimeter play and basketball intelligence demonstrates how modern basketball has evolved to provide more opportunities for guards and perimeter players to influence games and achieve recognition. The effectiveness of each player style depends heavily on supporting cast, coaching strategy, and game situations that can favor either post dominance or perimeter excellence depending on opponent's strengths and weaknesses. Questions arise about how these contrasting approaches to basketball excellence might translate into hypothetically one-on-one competition or direct matchup scenarios where their different skill sets and physical attributes would be tested against each other. The psychological aspects of competition between veteran dominance and rookie confidence create additional layers of complexity in any potential confrontation between these two basketball superstars. Gurrier's experience and established success provide confidence and composure that come from years of professional competition at the highest levels. Her international experience, including Olympic gold medals and competition against the world's best players, has provided exposure to high-pressure situations and diverse playing styles that could be advantageous in any competitive scenario. Clark's confidence stems from her recent success and the validation of her playing style at the highest major exposure and major remission from her levels of basketball. Her rapid transition from college stardom to professional excellence demonstrates adaptability and resilience that could serve her well in challenging competitive situations. The generational difference between the two players creates interesting dynamics around respect, hierarchy, and competitive intensity that could influence how any confrontation might develop and be perceived by observers. The pressure of public expectations and media attention surrounding both players adds external factors that could affect performance and decision-making in competitive situations, particularly given the intense scrutiny that accompanies any interaction between high-profile athletes. The technical basketball skills comparison between Gurrier and Clark reveals complementary excellences that highlight how different positions and playing styles can achieve elite status through entirely different skill development paths and physical attributes. Gurrier's technical skills include exceptional footwork for a player of her size, soft shooting touch around the basket, and defensive positioning that maximizes her physical advantages while minimizing potential weaknesses against smaller, quicker opponents. Her ball handling abilities, while not her primary strength, are sufficient for a center to operate effectively in various offensive systems and create scoring opportunities through post moves and face-up play that utilizes her size advantage. Clark's technical skills encompass shooting accuracy from extreme distances, court vision that allows her to create assists in traffic, and ball handling ability that enables her to operate effectively against defensive pressure designed to limit her shooting opportunities. The shooting mechanics and release point that Clark employs allow her to score effectively despite defensive attention that includes double teams and aggressive closeouts designed specifically to limit her three-point shooting effectiveness. Her passing ability includes both conventional assists and creative playmaking that generates score-bright scores and reds. Investment that promises the career of red tests and true roles around her will also allude to more offering detailed commitments from the market opportunities for teammates in ways that make entire offensive systems more effective and difficult for opponents to defend. The basketball intelligence demonstrated by both players includes game management, situational awareness, and strategic understanding that allows them to make optimal decisions under pressure while competing against elite-level opposition. Physical conditioning and athletic preparation represent crucial factors in any competitive scenario, as both players maintain fitness levels and strength training that enable them to perform at elite levels throughout demanding professional seasons. Gurrier's conditioning regimen includes strength training designed to maintain her physical advantages while developing the cardiovascular fitness necessary for her energy-intensive playing style and the demands of professional basketball competition. Playing styles, officiating standards, and competitive intensities that have broadened her competitive repertoire and enhanced her ability to adapt to various competitive circumstances. Clark's development through college basketball at the University of Iowa included unprecedented media attention and pressure that provided unique preparation for professional competition and public scrutiny that exceeds typical rookie experiences. The tournament success and high-pressure performances that defined Clark's college career demonstrate her ability to perform effectively when stakes are highest and attention is most intense, suggesting resilience under competitive pressure. Both players have demonstrated the mental toughness and competitive intensity necessary for sustained success at the highest levels of professional basketball, indicating that any competitive modern tight program may play as a real balanced scenario between them would feature maximal effort and intensity. Team dynamics and leadership qualities represent another dimension of comparison between these two basketball superstars, as both players have served in leadership roles that demonstrate their ability to influence teammates and competitive outcomes through personal example and communication. Grier's voter and leadership within the Phoenix Mercury organization includes mentoring younger players and serving as a vocal presence that helps establish team culture and competitive standards within the locker room and practice environment. Her experience navigating the challenges of professional basketball, including contract negotiations, media responsibilities, and performance expectations, provides valuable perspective that she shares with less experienced teammates. Clark's rapid emergence as a leader within the Indiana Fever organization demonstrates natural leadership qualities and the ability to earn respect from veteran teammates despite her rookie status and relative inexperience in professional basketball. The leadership styles demonstrated by both players reflect their personalities and competitive approaches, with Grier providing steady veteran presence while Clark brings infectious energy and confidence that can elevate team performance. Questions arise about how these different leadership approaches might translate into direct competitive scenarios and whether the respect and influence they command with teammates would provide advantages in one-on-one competitive situations. Media attention and public perception surrounding both players create external pressures that could influence any competitive scenario. As both athletes have learned to perform effectively despite intense scrutiny and widespread public interest in their performances, Grier's experience managing media attention includes navigating both positive coverage of her basketball achievements and negative publicity related to various controversies and challenging situations throughout her career. Training partnerships and workout relationships within the WNBA create interconnected networks where players sometimes train together or participate in development programs that provide opportunities for informal competitive interactions and skill comparison. The basketball community at the professional level is relatively small, with players often working with similar trainers, participating in Team USA activities, and engaging in off-season development programs that create opportunities for competitive interaction outside of formal game settings. Questions arise about whether Grier and Clark have participated in training sessions or development activities that provided opportunities for direct skill comparison and competitive interaction away from official game situations and media attention. The respect and relationships that exist between professional players often transcend competitive rivalry and create frameworks for productive competition that enhances both players' development and competitive motivation. International competition through Team USA basketball provides potential opportunities for both players to work together while also competing for roster spots and playing time in high-pressure situations representing their country. Coaching perspectives on both players provide professional assessments of their competitive strengths and potential areas for improvement that could influence how any competitive scenario might develop and what factors would determine competitive advantage. Phoenix Mercury coaching staff's evaluation of Grier's competitive strengths includes her physical dominance, basketball intelligence, and professional approach to preparation and performance that maximize her natural advantages and minimize potential weaknesses. Indiana Fever coaching staff's assessment of Clark's competitive abilities encompasses her shooting excellence, playmaking skills, and competitive intensity that allow her to perform effectively against various opponent strategies and defensive approaches. The strategic approaches that coaches might recommend for maximizing each player's competitive effectiveness include game plans that emphasize their strengths while minimizing exposure to opponent advantages and tactical disadvantages. Questions arise about how professional coaching analysis and strategic preparation might influence the outcome of any competitive scenario between these two elite players with completely different skill sets and physical attributes. Historical precedents in basketball competition between players with contrasting styles and physical attributes provide context for understanding how such matchups might develop and what factors typically determine competitive advantage in direct confrontations. The commercial potential of any competitive scenario involving these two players includes television viewership possibilities, social media engagement opportunities, and marketing partnerships that could benefit from association with high-profile athletic competition. Broadcast and media coverage of any competitive interaction would likely receive unprecedented attention for women's basketball, potentially setting new standards for viewership and commercial success in women's professional sports. The cultural significance of competition between these two players extends beyond basketball to represent broader things about generational change, playing style, evolution, and the commercial growth of women's professional sports. Safety considerations and professional standards would be paramount in any competitive scenario, as both players represent significant investments for their respective teams and the league overall, requiring careful management of injury risks and competitive intensity. Professional sports leagues maintain strict standards for player safety and competitive conduct that would govern any sanctioned competitive interaction, ensuring that competition remains within appropriate boundaries for professional athletics. The legal and contractual obligations that both players have to their respective teams, the league and commercial partners would influence how any competitive scenario could be structured and what parameters would need to be established for participation. Association with high-profile athletic competition. Broadcast and media coverage of any competitive interaction would likely receive unprecedented attention for women's basketball, potentially setting new standards for viewership and commercial success in women's professional sports. The cultural significance of competition between these two players extends beyond basketball to let us represent broader themes about generational change, playing style, evolution, and the commercial growth of women's professional sports. Safety considerations and professional standards would be paramount in any competitive scenario, as both players represent significant investments for their respective teams and the league overall, requiring careful management of injury risks and competitive intensity. Professional sports leagues maintain strict standards for player safety and competitive conduct that would govern any sanctioned competitive interaction, ensuring that competition remains within appropriate boundaries for professional athletics. The legal and contractual obligations that both players have to their respective teams, the league and commercial partners would influence how any competitive scenario could be structured and what parameters would need to be established for participation. Insurance and liability. Considerations surrounding high-profile athlete competition require careful management and professional oversight to protect all parties involved while enabling legitimate competitive opportunities. Training facility requirements and professional supervision would be necessary to ensure that any competitive scenario meets professional standards for athlete safety and competitive integrity. And while providing appropriate documentation and oversight, equipment and playing condition standards would need to meet professional specifications to ensure fair competition and minimize injury risks while providing optimal competitive conditions for both participants. Official oversight and rule enforcement would be necessary to ensure that any competitive scenario follows established basketball rules and competitive standards while maintaining fairness and professional conduct throughout the interaction. Referee and official requirements for any competitive scenario would need to meet professional standards to ensure appropriate rule enforcement and fair play while managing competitive intensity and maintaining player safety. Recovery and medical support protocols would need to be established to provide appropriate health monitoring and injury prevention measures throughout any competitive interaction between these elite athletes. The potential outcomes of competitive interaction between Griner and Clark encompass various scenarios that could demonstrate the effectiveness of different basketball approaches while providing entertainment value and competitive insight for fans and analysts. Competitive scenarios could include various formats ranging from one-on-one play to skills competitions that test different aspects of basketball excellence while accommodating the different strengths and attributes of both players.